This video will help you to better understand the Envisions Math lesson for Topic 12, Lesson 5. The work we'll do comes from page 636, questions 10 and 11. The entire lesson for Topic 12, Lesson 5 is all about fractions that are greater than 1. The number line you're looking at right now shows a distance between 0 and 1 whole. That 1 whole could mean many things. It could be the distance between your house and your school. It could be a length of a mile from 0 to 1, meaning 1 mile. It could be a racetrack from 0 to 1, meaning the entire whole racetrack. Now, as you know, you can break that 1 whole up into parts. I could break it in half, like so. I could break it into 4 parts. I could continue breaking it as many times as I want. Let's say that our friend here is going to run a race. The race course is 1 mile long. Since our race course is broken into 4 equal parts, we can label each part with a fraction. Since our first tick mark is 1 space away from 0, our numerator has to be a 1. There are 4 equal parts to our line, so our denominator must be a 4. If you continue counting your tick marks, you would have your second tick mark being 2 spaces away from 0. Therefore, your numerator is a 2. We have 4 equal parts to our line, so you continue using a 4. Our third tick mark away from 0 will be the spot for 3/4. And finally, our last tick mark, which is 4 spaces away from 0, could be called 1 whole, but it can also be considered a fraction, 4/4. Now let's say our friend here starts running the race and decides to take a break at this point in the mile. He has run 2/4 of the mile. He continues to run and stops here for a drink. He stopped for his drink at 3/4 of the mile. And when he finally reaches the finish line, he has run 4/4 or 1 whole mile. Let's say our race was not 1 mile long, but instead was actually 2 miles long. If we were to break up the section between the 1 mile mark and the 2 mile mark, we must break it up in the same way as before. So our first 0 to 1 mile was broken into 4 parts. That means our second mile must also be broken into 4 parts. 1, 2, 3 lines creates 4 parts. Let's continue labeling our tick marks. Going all the way back to 0, we jump 1 space, bringing us to 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4, which, as you know, is equal to 1 whole. Continue on with 5/4, 6/4, 7/4, and 2, which is equal to 8/4. Now let's take our little man on his race. Let's say he begins at the starting line and starts to run. He stops for a drink at this point in the race course. He has run 6/4 of the whole entire course because the whole entire course is 2 miles long. In order for him to finish, he has to run 2 spaces more on this number line. Each space is the same size. Each space is 1/4 the size of our whole. So he has 2/4 left to run. 1/4 and 2/4. He's the big winner. Take a look at this example from page 636 in your Envisions Math book. This number line is showing the distance from the school all the way to a swimming pool. You will notice that the number line starts at 0 and shows the whole as being 1 mile. The number line is also broken into several parts. You can look at the denominator to see how many. There are 6 equal parts, and each tick mark has been labeled for you. If our little man wanted to walk the distance from his school all the way to the end of the hole, he would have walked 1 mile. But let's say he started at the school and walked to the grocery store. We can use a fraction to describe how much of the mile he has walked. So far, he has walked 1/6, 2/6, 3/6 of the mile to get to the grocery store. Let's pretend he did not stop at the grocery store. Instead, starting at the school, he decided to go straight to the post office. Our little man would travel 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6 of the whole mile to get to the post office. Take a look at this question from page 636 in your Envisions Math book. What fraction tells how far the swimming pool is from the school, and explain how you know? Let's take our little man and walk him from the school to the swimming pool and count the tick marks as we go. 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6, 6/6, which is equal to 1 whole, and 1 more 6th will bring you to 7/6. Our final answer to this question of what fraction tells how far the swimming pool is from the school is the swimming pool is 7/6 miles from the school. Since this question also asks you to explain how you know, you can say the whole is divided into 6 equal parts. The pool is 7 tick marks away from the school. This next question asks us to think about the line in a slightly different way. The hospital is halfway between the grocery store and the post office. What fraction tells how far the hospital is from the school? Explain. If you look closely at this number line, you can see the grocery store and the post office are here in this section. The question asks you to find the hospital, which is halfway between the grocery store and the post office. That means they want you to take the section between the grocery store and the post office and cut it in half into 2 parts. Can you find the fraction that names half of the section between the grocery store and the post office? Well, here I have 1 part and 2 parts, which means 4/6 is our half. The fraction that tells how far the hospital is from the school is 4/6 miles. To answer this question, you can write it out as shown. The hospital is 4/6 miles from the school. To explain that, you can say the distance between the grocery store and the post office is divided into 2 equal parts. The halfway point is at the 4/6 tick mark. I hope this video is helpful in understanding how to do today's math, which comes from page 638 in your Envisions workbook. You will have an attachment that you can use to answer the questions. Have a great day.